Hey everyone, I want to talk about pastime. So, this is for the week of the 2nd of April 2025. We're going through the comics that came out, the ones that I checked out, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts on pastime. So, first, it's going to be the spoiler free section, and then it's going to be the spoiler section. So, very quickly for the spoiler free, when you search up the first look, I'm going to be showing like images and stuff through this. This is on their website. So this is essentially what it looks like. And here's an example of the sneak peek. Oops. Right here. So this is the art. As you can see, the art has a bit of like a noir-esque type of vibe to it. It is about baseball, so it doesn't go completely in that section, but there's also killing and murder, all that stuff on here. So if you're interested in the crime genre, if you're interested in a bit more of that darker aesthetic, this is what this is. So it's a story that mixes baseball alongside like crime and violence and all that stuff. And here we go. Here's more of the kind of baseball look of it. Sorry, the starting here. And that's the kind of idea that it's going for. And the synopsis, just very quickly, is Henry Hayes could have been the best baseball player anybody ever saw, if only his dark affliction didn't prevent him from playing in the daylight. But when the brainstorming circuit introduces a new novelty to the game, night baseball under the bright lights, will his dream of playing pro ball finally be realized? Or will his bloody past catch up with him before he gets a chance? From the Midwest fields of the 1920s to the big city lights of today, Pastime is a small town thriller on a national scale. Now, I think now we're going to be no overall. I thought this was actually really good. I really enjoyed this. So far, it's been my favorite out of everything I read for this week, and yeah, it has a really good air to it. I feel like the dialogue flows extremely well. It doesn't feel like there's too many speech bubbles. Each bubble feels like it's worth something. It's hinting at something. You also have to like peer beneath what's actually going on in order to understand what's happening, which is something I really liked. So personally, I think it's worth checking out. So I say, yeah, recommend. Try it out if you think it's within your aesthetic tastes. Okay, now for the spoiler review. So you've been warned. I'll give 5 seconds. One, two, three, 4, 5. That's a bit of a quick 5 seconds, but all right, let's start. So with pastime, it doesn't begin as the sneak peek starts. It very much begins just showcasing like this detective like fella who goes into this bar, and he's talking with this older guy, and one of the things, now full spoilers, right? So one of the things that's really interesting is on the second page, there is this image that showcases that he's actually not talking to anyone. That the mirror reflection showcases that the person isn't actually there. And that's revealed right at the end of the issue that he's not there. So you have to kind of have a keen eye to pick up on that. I personally didn't. I was confused by the ending where I was like, wait, he wasn't actually there. Like this guy isn't here. But turns out he's not actually there. Now, I don't think he just randomly quickly ran away or something like that. It's heavily implied that he's not there. So I'm pretty sure this detective guy is hallucinating him, essentially. But either way, the story that this guy, Ronnie, tells is very interesting. He used to be a pro baseball player. That's revealed as we're going through this tale. And the interesting thing is he's blind. So I'm guessing something happened because he used to be pro, and it's very difficult to play baseball if you're blind. So clearly something happened. We don't know what the story is. It's not necessarily told to us. We'll probably figure it out as time goes on. He seems to be a main character for this series, so I feel like there's going to be a decent amount of depth with this character, and also the fact that that other character hallucinates him. So yeah, he's going to be very important. He seems to be our narrator, and I'm pretty certain he's going to be the narrator. But maybe, yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting because this detective guy does come into the bar asking him for help, but then it's implied he was never there. So maybe it's just like a process this the detective guy has to go through in order to just kind of figure things out for himself, even though the guy's just in his head. I'm not sure about that, but either way, he yeah, He's part of this baseball league now where the way they describe it is essentially for people who aren't really getting a lot of eyes on them. It's kind of like more for the downtrodden, I guess. And it's just a bunch of people, and some of them have hopes of becoming bigger and things like that. But a lot of them one of them gives the energy that they've resigned themselves to their reality. Now, all as this is happening, Henry, who is another one of the main characters, Henry Hayes, and he seems to be someone who kills people. And as it's implied in the synopsis that he has these urges, these darker urges, he's essentially, as he was running away, he comes upon this baseball match that's happening, and that's where Ronnie is, so the person who's telling the story. And the cool thing about this is that we do get to see like a bit of baseball here, and it's pretty interesting. It's fun. It's fun to see just some action happening. I do wonder if this, showcasing baseball itself, if it's going to be important. Like if these other characters that we see, like this young person who has aspirations of becoming big in baseball, if he's going to be someone important, maybe one of these characters, like, or the guy who's Coombs, that's his name, maybe he's going to be this older detective that we see like in the future. I feel like one of these people who are in this whole baseball league is going to become that character. And I think that would be pretty interesting just as like an introduction piece, because otherwise why give these characters that much screen time? But maybe it was just more so to have a showcase that there's multiple personalities in this baseball space. Maybe not everything needs to have that kind of significant purpose. But my personal guess, is that one of these characters is going to end up being that detective at the beginning. Now, essentially, like, after the game, Henry meets Ronnie. So they have this moment where they meet up. Oh, part of the importance of that baseball game was that the ball gets hit far away, and Ronnie knows where this ball went, and Henry has picked it up. So essentially, this killer and this ex baseball player, well, not ex, he's still playing baseball. He's just he's no longer pro. They're having a conversation, and Ronnie quickly realizes that the people the police are after is this Henry guy. So the person right in front of him. And one of the interesting things is we can get from this that Ronnie is pretty perceptive. Like, he can understand things pretty quickly. And even Henry is taken aback by this. But one of the things he says that is really, really interesting is that the police say that they found a body out there in the corn. This is completely in line with Henry's account of the story for himself. Like, he was a person who did that to that person, and that's how it should be. Now, they have another report saying that he up and walked away. So the person that Henry was convinced was a corpse up and got away and just left. And Henry's like, what? So I think that's really interesting. So one of his victims is just out and about right now. So that's obviously going to play a part. And I think that's going to be critical, especially with the whole police angle as well. And yeah, like Ronnie says, like, sounds like a crime without a victim. So that's a bit interesting. And Ronnie says that he's not going to report this, but he says he is going to need that ball back. But Henry doesn't give it away, and he just runs away saying, damn it. So I wonder if Henry went back to that place just to see what happens. Most likely he did. I wonder if by the end of it he found that guy again, killed him. I'm not sure what happened with that, but I'm very interested to see in the next issue what came of that. Now, Ronnie gets drunk and all that stuff, and essentially he gets his ass kicked, saying that he owes Lazaro money. So I don't know who Lazaro is. I'm not sure if he's mentioned before. He might be some sort of like gang leader or something like that. It sounds like, after Ronnie gets saved, Henry does say that he shouldn't be dealing with Lazaro, and Ronnie kind of agrees. So maybe, Ronnie gets mixed up in some bad stuff, but he clearly gets mixed up in even worse things, because Henry's the person who saves him, but the person who saves him brutalizes these people who are beating the crap out of a blind man. And it's not just like a simple brutality. Blood is going everywhere. We get to see an image where some guy's leg gets sliced off. So it's pretty violent. And yeah, Henry's no slouch. He's definitely willing to not just kill, but kill very intensely. And Yeah, but there is this one moment that is like very interesting and kind of confusing. It like Henry gives the ball back to Ronnie, but then he goes gah, and I'm like, what happened? Like all of the people are dead. Like he basically destroyed them. So did he get hurt in any way? But then uh, another interesting thing is like right after that we cut back to the detective at the bar who's listening to this story, and he also has the same response. He goes ah, and he has this thing on his neck, and I'm kind of wondering if like is Henry this detective? But that doesn't really make sense because he's trying to figure out what happened with this baseball player. Oh, so maybe hold up. So the detective here, the detective, the detective is here on account of the baseball player, as in like so Ronnie, the illusion of Ronnie says like, but you didn't really come here to talk about baseball, did you, Jack? And then he says, you don't think I know about Des Moines and Peoria and Kansas City. I don't know if I'm saying those cities' names right, but maybe something. Oh, I think something happens to Ronnie, and that's why he's the illusion, right? And I think maybe it's implied that this detective guy is actually Henry from the future. So maybe that's what's happening. Like he's trying to figure out who killed his friend, like not the other way around in the way we were showcased to believe it. Maybe he's actually oh shit, maybe Henry is this guy that's why they showed him getting like hurt on the neck. And that's probably why he threw the ball away. But then yeah, and he says come back tomorrow. Son of a bitch. And then he like runs away and yeah. Interesting. That's a very interesting way to tell a story. It's a very interesting way to tell a story. I'm kind of stumped because I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, who is who right now? Like the story is hard to like figure out. Let me see. Yeah, he says good to see you. No, but he says good to see you, Jack. His name's Jack. Okay, sorry. So that guy's name is Jack. Did we meet a Jack in these pages? I don't know. I don't think we met a Jack at all. And his name is Henry, so they're clearly very different characters, unless. Yeah, I think. Okay, but I still feel like there is some sort of link between when Henry throws the ball to Ronnie and goes gah, and um, yeah, whatever neck pain that this detective's going through. They're cut like right next to each other, like it's just one page over. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe they're not the same, and we're just supposed to like imply that something else is going on with Henry, and also this detective has, like whatever on his neck. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. Either way, I really, really enjoyed this. There's so many things up in the air. The writing was really good. I really enjoyed the art. At first, just based on these previews, I was concerned about just like the faces and stuff, but the art was great. Like genuinely, like the art was awesome. I loved the vibe. Yeah, just the aesthetic vibe of like people going into the bar, all this alcohol around. I've always loved that vibe. I love the detective vibe, and even in the baseball spaces, like it's still drawn in a way that I really enjoy. So yeah, I enjoyed the art a ton, and I really enjoyed the writing as well. It's very much like up my alley, and I'm very excited to read like the next issues and stuff like that. So I personally enjoyed this the most this week, out of everything that came out. I mean, I don't read too many things that come out. Like basically so far, all I've read is Pastime and what's it called again? I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. So that's basically all I've read so far, and all I really plan to read, with the exception of maybe that new Green Lantern book that came out. So I might suss that out because it did give like a similar horror-esque vibe based on the previews. So yeah. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my review/thoughts about Pastime. I recommend it, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay. Take care. Bye.